Hello and welcome to XOMO. My name is Mo. Welcome to my channel. And as you can see from today's title, I will be telling you about how to learn tarot. I'm a professional tarot reader, and people ask me all the time, Mo, how did you learn how to do tarot? Any tips for people trying to learn tarot? And I figured, why not just make a YouTube video, to help people out for people who have this question quite frequently, right? Before we get started, I do want to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Intuitive Souls. Intuitive Souls, it's a community of spiritualists that help people learn tarot. So they also sell tarot decks as well and tarot courses. If you're interested in purchasing one of their tarot decks or enrolling in their courses, you can do so over at intuitivesouls.com. Actually, I believe that's intsouls.com. That's exactly what it is. Sorry about that. INT Souls. And if you use the promo code XOMO, you'll receive 10% off on anything that they send your way. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first way that I think that people should learn tarot, or one of the first ways that I think is quite easy, and I think is the easiest way to learn tarot, is by taking a class. You know what I mean? I'm a huge fan of structured learning and having everything laid out in front of you. You know what I mean? A step-by-step process, and then also having instructors that can give you recommendations and feedback on things that you may be missing or learning, right? That's how I learned tarot, or that's how I actually believe that the bulk of my education from tarot came from, right? And again, Intuitive Souls, they do have a $60 course, and if you use the promo code XOMO, you'll get 10% off of that. I think that the Intuitive Souls tarot course, it's really good for beginners, you know what I mean? If you're not even sure if you're super into tarot, or if you haven't been reading tarot or watching a lot of pick a card readings, you know what I mean, on your own, I think that's definitely a good place to start. The class is only $60. I actually took a class that was very, 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 very in-depth, and it was almost $250. I'll link that down below as well. But yeah, I do think that this class it's an affordable option that's really good for beginners, yeah. They also have, these really cute tarot cards. I really love the design on the back of this, with the lotus flowers and the crescent moons. And then the deck that they have, it's based off of the classic Rider-Waite, right? Most people, when you do take a tarot class, or most tarot readers, most of the time, if they're professional, they do know what the Rider-Waite tarot deck is. It's kind of like the tried and true, the classic tarot deck that most tarot readers know and refer to when divinating. But yeah, if you are just starting out, you can start off with the Rider-Waite. Most people would do that. I, however, did not start off with the Rider-Waite. I did, however, start off with the Modern Witch. The Modern Witch, it's basically the Rider-Waite, if I'm being oh so honest. All the imagery, it's very, very closely related to the images found in the Rider-Waite, you know what I mean? I just chose this deck because there's a little bit more diversity and inclusion in the representations of the people on the cards, right? And I have a background in equity, diversity, and inclusion, and I was really drawn to this deck, so I chose this one. And again, even for you, you know what I mean? If you know that there's a tarot deck that you're really, really drawn to, I would say start there, right? Start with whatever deck you're drawn to, because you're probably going to form a really strong connection with the deck. Number two, you know what I mean? A class would take care of most of it, but if you're somebody if you're not thinking about being a professional, I highly recommend classes for people who decide to read tarot for other people. You know what I mean? If you're not thinking about being professional, I would highly recommend, doing daily pulls, right? So a daily pull is, just when you go to your tarot deck, you shuffle the card and you find one card, you resonate with the card, you meditate on it, you go throughout your day, you come back to the card and see what the message was, right? And then you can also look online and do some general research on what the card meaning is, right? Because, or this is how I feel, in my opinion, the source material for the tarot is the actual tarot reader, right? And what I mean by that is that, so when you read for other people, or when you're reading for yourself, every card in the deck, it actually resonates with a specific moment in your life. You know what I mean? A specific day, a specific age, you know what I mean? A specific moment of things that you're going through, right? The major arcana, these are major moments and big moments. And then the court cards are more people or energies or personas or archetypes. And then the minor arcana, which is, the suits, the 1 through 10, and the pentacles, wands, cups, and swords, those are smaller moments. You know what I mean? But they're all important. Don't let the words like major or minor arcana switch you up. All of the cards are, they carry the same weight, in my opinion. But that's the thing. So, just an example, the Ace of Cups, right? This is just one of the ones I had like underneath the court cards. The Ace of Cups is about emotional abundance. You know what I mean? So, the Ace of Cups, sometimes when the Ace of Cups shows up, or new emotional energy. You know what I mean? So when I think about the Ace of Cups, I think about what? The last time I saw the Ace of Cups come up in a personal reading, it really comes up when I'm talking about like my career. And again, for me personally, right? So the cards will show up in whatever way that they resonate with you in your day-to-day life, right? My job, you know what I mean, my entrepreneurship, my work as an artist and social media influencer, it brings me a lot of emotional joy. So a lot of times when I'm doing career readings, the Ace of Cups will come up. Or if I'm looking for new friends, new emotional energy. You know what I mean? Or I'm starting to flirt, I'm finding new people that I'm interested in my dating life, right? Again, the Ace of Cups will come up. So that's kind of how you learn the tarot, right? Especially with those daily pools. You find a card, I would highly recommend journaling on it just to cement some of that energy. You know what I mean? And it's going to take a while. Even when I took my class, it took me like 9 months. It took me 10 months. I think it took me 10 months to finish my tarot course, right? It's quite some time. It's because all of these moments you don't go through so quickly. Your connection with your deck, I feel that like all decks have like personalities, you know what I mean? Or they kind of have like a certain vibe or vibration of their own. So I do tend to talk to the deck like, again, this is the first deck. I'll just refer to this one because this is the deck that I learned how to read tarot with, right? Her name is Cece, and Cece feels very different than Luna. This is the tarot of the divine, you know what I mean? So talking to the decks and getting to know them and vibing with them. Something else that I do, this is kind of like a cementing practice that I do. I'm a lucid dreamer, and a lot of the work that I do as a spiritual person happens in my sleep, right? So I'll go to bed. With my tarot deck, and then like every time I do it, I kind of have like a vivid dream that lets me know, okay, this is the type of deck that this is the type of energy or vibration that this deck is bringing, right? That's kind of like a 2.5, you know what I mean? But just something like figure out what your gifts are. You know what I mean? And I was going to save this into the end, but I feel like this is the perfect segue, right? Knowing what your gifts are. Now, this isn't necessarily reliant on the tarot, but I do feel like it helps when reading tarot, right? Knowing what your spiritual gifts are, or your sixth sense as they were, right? There's a number of them, right? But you can find a test, or you can find a professional. If you need a recommendation, just let me know. I can send you some people. But yeah, this is whether you're clairsentient, you're clairvoyant, you're clairaudient, you're claircognizant. There's a number of them, but those are the only ones that are coming to my mind, right? But these are essentially like psychic abilities, right? And I'll use myself as an example. I'm claircognizant and clairsentient. Clairsentient, I can feel things like in my body and in my sensual being and my spiritual being. So when I'm reading for other people, sometimes I can sense if people have stress in their shoulders, or if they're clenching their jaw, you know what I mean? Or if they're nervous, or if they feel like they have like this annoying person in their life that's like hanging over their shoulders. A lot of the times when I'm doing tarot readings for other people, I can pick up on that stuff because I'm clairsentient, right? Something else is like claircognizant, you know what I mean? This happens a lot when I'm doing readings as well, where I'll just like receive bits and pieces of information that won't come from the tarot deck, and my client won't be telling me this information as well, but I just intuitively know this information. So knowing your psychic abilities are actually going to help you become a better and a sharper tarot reader, right? If you're clairsentient as well, some things that happen is like, you can look at the cards and know the meaning of the card, right? But sometimes when I touch the cards, I get the energy or the vibration. It gets a lot more specific, and I'm able to decipher clear information. Or if you're clairaudient, you'll probably be able to hear things from your guides or the other person's guides just to tap into more information, right? I don't believe, this is my opinion, I don't think that you have to be psychic to be a tarot reader, but I definitely think it helps. So the last and final thing that you need to know about learning tarot, I find is very useful, is watching other tarot readers. You know what I mean? Before I ever decided that I wanted to learn tarot, or that I was going to be a tarot reader, I was just picking up little tidbits of information because I had been watching pick a card readings on YouTube for 2 years. You know what I mean? When you're doing that, you kind of learn information by osmosis. You know what I mean? You begin to know what the lovers mean. You begin to know what the death card, the Ten of Swords, you know, the Queen of Pentacles, so on and so forth means, right? Just because. And then it's also useful to hear how other people are interpreting cards. You know what I mean? There's 74 or 78 cards, and it's a lot of information to just carry around in your noggin. You know what I mean? And for that reason, sometimes I'll watch other tarot readers just to see how they pick up on things. Cause what was it recently? I was having a hard time interpreting the Hierophant, right? When I think about the Hierophant, I think about authority figures, and I also think about like structure and religion and like capitalism and, you know, and like social norms and things like that, right? I was watching my friend on TikTok, and he was doing a reading for somebody else, and he had brought up discipline. And I was like, oh yes, the Hierophant is definitely disciplined. You know what I mean? So again, watching other people and seeing how other people interpret cards is very, 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 very helpful. You know what I mean? For you just learning the tarot. Yeah. That's about all. Let me know if you have any questions on how I learned tarot, or if you feel like I missed anything, or if you're having any hiccups when it comes to learning tarot. And I'll be more than happy to make another video or to respond to you in the comments. Yeah. But that's all I have for you. Let me know how you felt about the video down in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up if you found value out of this, and subscribe to XOMO, you know, for more spiritual content, because there's plenty where this came from. And until next time, this is XOMO. Bye.